You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey B&B fans, I've got your early edition spoilers for next week, November 11th through the 15th. Steffy Forrester is going to be facing some backlash, and I have a huge update for Matthew Atkinson, the actor who plays Thomas Forrester. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and as we always do on early edition day, we start with what's happening the rest of this week. And hey, if you're not following us, please reach down, smash that subscribe button. Wednesday, November 6th. So we're going to pick up where we left off with two couples, with Ridge and Brooke and with Carter and Hope. Let's start with Ridge and Brooke. He wanted to be the one to tell Brooke that Stephie had fired Hope. Unfortunately, Hope and Carter hot-footed it over to the estate to break the news to her first. And of course, she was in complete and utter denial. Like, she could not hear the words coming out of their mouth and was saying, no, Ridge would never let that happen. And he did. And what was interesting was Brooke wouldn't tell him the truth about what happened. She just wants him to take it on faith that Hope wasn't doing what Stephie saw her doing, as far as Stephie knew, and I know there's a lot of questions about this. Like, it's ridiculous that she wouldn't have known that Finn was going to be up there. But Finn, who, despite having a medical degree, isn't the brightest bulb in the drawer, heard her saying, I've been waiting on you. And then, she pounced. So that was just his visceral reaction. And then Stephie walked in and he ran out. So anyway, they're going to pick up with the Ridge and Brooke conversation. And again, she's like, no, you're wrong. She didn't do this. You don't understand. And he isn't hearing anything from her that is substantial enough for him to go back on his pledge to Stephie, to have her back on this. And plus, Stephie and Taylor both told Ridge, don't let the Logans manipulate you. Don't go over there and let them talk you into anything. And so that is the whole situation. So that intense conversation continues. And, he's loyal to Brooke in his personal life, but in terms of business, Steffie's his co-CEO, and he is not hearing anything to make him want to change his mind. And I don't think they're going to break up on Wednesday, but I think that they are going to be at a serious impasse where they both need to do some thinking. And for Ridge, it's like, okay, your daughter got fired, roll with it. But for Brooke, I think this is more like, you betrayed me personally. Picking back up with Carter and Hope, they had just started to make out over at his apartment after he vowed vengeance. And they are going to tell each other, I love you. They've been dating, not at all. Have they had a date? Not really, but they're going to say, I love you, because they've been involved for, 3.5 minutes. And they're going to make love, and, they're going to vow to be loyal to each other. She's very committed to his whole House of Forrester thing, which isn't going to happen unless it's going to be House of Logan. And yeah, meanwhile, Finn and Stephie are getting all hot and heavy, saying, I love you, passionate lovemaking. And I think they're doing these scenes side by side to contrast the two relationships. And I do wonder if Finn and Stephie are going to have any kind of conversation where he's saying, I wonder how she knew I was going to be there. Thursday, November 7th, Eric talks to Stephie about her firing Hope, and Steffie's not going to give an inch on this. So I don't know if it was Donna in his ear, Katie in his ear, Brooke in his ear, all of the above in his ear. But Eric also knows that Hope for the Future line was not doing well. So I'm very curious to see how hard he pushes, or if it's just like, okay, I talked to her, if he was pressed to have a conversation and then he just checked that box, but he didn't really push hard. Stephie is quite certain that Hope was trying to mess with her marriage, throw herself at her husband, and she has no regrets on the firing. And again, because Hope and Brooke are keeping the information to themselves about exactly who she was waiting for, Everybody has to assume that she was lying in wait for Finn, even though it seems, a little coincidental. So we also have Electra and Will doing some flirting on Thursday, and he wants to hear all about her, wants to hear her life story. Of course, he's concerned about Hope's firing, but he is a Spencer male, so he's more concerned about who he's flirting with than anything else. We're going to wrap up the week on Friday, November 8th with some Poppy and Luna action that I don't think anybody asked for. I know some people are happy to see them back just because they're new characters, but Luna is irredeemable. She's a double murderer. She needs to go away and never come back. She's not a Spencer daughter. She's the daughter of the man she murdered. So zero sympathy there. Her mom was a stoned hippie who was a gold digger. That doesn't give you a license to go killing people. But Luna sends Bill a letter that, for whatever reason, touches his heart and has him reflecting on, what all has happened. And he talks to Katie about it. And she's telling him, he just got caught in the middle of a bad situation. Zende has a little bit of backlash. He delivers to Stephie. He's very mad that she ended the fashion line that he was one of the two lead designers on. We haven't even seen RJ. Not that I'm missing him, but we have not seen him. But we are going to hear from Zende. This Hope firing affects him and others. We have some more scenes of the Forrester models. So I just wonder if they're going to be complaining about it too, if it's going to affect their lives. Going into the week of November 11th through the 15th, Carter and Hope's secret romance, that secret isn't going to stay hidden forever. And when it does come out, it's going to make him look pretty dodgy. And he is on the cusp of making himself look dodgy as well, because he is planning on targeting his employers who have been very good to him. They didn't, fire him for the personal reason of him banging his boss's wife. And granted, later Eric gave him license to bang Quinn, as a favor to him. But initially he was sneaking around behind Eric's back. And, that was something very personal. And Eric didn't let that affect their business relationship, kept him on board. But Carter's about to be targeting them, and that's problematic. Ivy is establishing her new life in LA. Now she has her jewelry line. She has her niece there. And the big question is, does she have a shot with Liam? Hope has not sent Liam any mixed signals. She has clearly said no, and now she is in deep with Carter, but I don't think is going to tell Liam about that either. Brooke continues covering for Hope, but she wants her daughter unfired. And that information, might change the tide, but I don't know. Somebody's going to crack. They're going to get busted, spotted, or someone's going to decide that maybe they need to go ahead and reveal it. Luna should probably resign herself to a long stint in prison. I won't miss her if we don't see her again. Bill is usually Team Stephie on a lot of things, but he may side with Hope over her firing because Liam has been talking about reuniting with Hope. I'm still hoping to see Bill wrapped up in this Carter plot, more so than I want to see him doing anything with Poppy or Luna again. Carter ramps up his plot to punish the Forresters. I think it'd be great if he pulled in an old rival like Nick Maroney to mess with them. And one last thing, this is the Matthew Atkinson update. He and his wife, Brittany Ratledge, had their son. The baby was due in October. As of the time that I'm making this video, I don't have the date of birth, the name, or anything, but they did a joint Instagram post on November 5th thanking the photographer that had done all their maternity photos. And then they said, now back to the wild, beautiful ride of new parenthood. So yes, they are new parents. The baby has been born, but it is an absolute bummer that Matt Atkinson is not back as Thomas and that B&B hasn't bothered to let fans know if or when he will be.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.